suffered?
Yeah, he was dealing with some nagging couple things, and he's been in a good place and better place this week. So looking forward to him to be back at full strength and ready to go.
Missouri quarterback Brady Cook is completing about 63% of his passes for 7.5 yards, and they got the three talented receivers. So how does the Alabama secondary, just step up this week? You got some injuries going on, so just
I think this time of the year, you start internal. Similar type game when Georgia came in here, similar type statistics when completing a high percentage of passes. I think Beck had not thrown a single interception coming into the game. This quarterback here from Missouri has only thrown one interception on the season, 70% completion percentage, really great job in an intermediate throw game, short throw game. You'll see them push the ball down the field and they'll take their shots. And so you got to start internal. You got to look at what we do well. We got to look at areas that we have to continue to improve on. We got to get healthy physically, mentally, all those things, and we got to put a plan together and go play. We know. I think at this time of the year, every single team is probably dealing with something. Maybe a guy down or some type of adverse situation that they're going through. So there's a little bit of a next man up mentality. But I think you guys have heard me sit in front of you for a while, talk about depth for a long time, and I think what you're seeing come alive right now. Maybe like an 18-year-old guy, Bach, who just had his first career interceptions at Tennessee, but maybe a month and a half ago wasn't maybe the caliber of guy that he's kind of trending into now. So we know that through the back half of the season, we got to continue to develop the depth of the roster. I think we're in a situation like most teams right now where some of these guys that maybe were not starters at the beginning of the year, we're relying upon to have meaningful reps for us. And then at the end of the day, no excuses. We got to find a way to go battle in the SEC and go find a way to go get a W.
Can you elaborate on the skill sets that you see on film from Luther Burden and Theo Weiss?
Yeah, if you look at Luther Burden, I think he's going to end up being a high draft pick. Very good in the intermediate throw game. He runs your whips, your pivots, your option routes. He has the speed on the GPS and on film to take it over the top, create separation. He's a friendly target for the quarterback, and they find ways to get him the ball and find ways to make sure he gets his targets and his touches. From a deployment standpoint, they do a good job of moving him around and putting him in all positions. He's at the field one, boundary one. He's at both slot positions. He's the move guy on jet sweep. So they do a good job. A very, very smart coaching staff, a very smart football player to be able to align in all those places and still be able to operate and function. And they have enough right pieces around him where you start focusing on Luther too much, and the other guys can go and win as well. So definitely a challenge. We definitely know how dynamic and explosive they can be and how much they've shown on offense, and we're going to get ourselves ready to go.
Is this a bigger week for Malachi from a communication standpoint because it's next man up at a couple spots?
I think you always rely on your veteran guys that have that game experience to continue to utilize the strengths that he has in football intelligence and football IQ is a strength of Malachi. So we're definitely relying on him to make sure from a communication standpoint, identifying who is in what position, who's doing what job. They move people, they motion people, they create all the formations. I think communication is going to be a big piece, and being able to line up, get our eyes in the right place, win the pre-snap through a clean progression and clean communication, and then be able to line up and do our job and play and win.
Have you seen defenses put a lot of attention on Luther? Statistically, the production is probably not first-round production necessarily.
Yeah, I think anytime a guy has a really, really good year like he had last year, you kind of go into this second year and he's going to draw a lot of attention, which I think he has. You're definitely identifying where he is every single snap and knowing what from a deployment standpoint where they're putting him, and so he's going to draw a lot of attention, and I think that's why you're seeing some of the numbers of the other guys come alive, where the ball has been spread around a little bit more to some other guys. Weiss, number one, has done a good job for them all year as well. So we're aware of all the playmakers they have, and we certainly know we got our work cut out for us. We got to get ourselves lined up, get ourselves in a good space to go play and compete and win.
When you see receivers kind of